review for you today. Today we're going to be looking at The Moment It Clicks by legendary photographer Joe McNally. He's been a professional photographer for over 30 years for various major publications like Time and National Geographic and a whole host of other different publications. And so this book is really fantastic. I got it from my local library, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it today, what I liked about it, and why you should get this book immediately. On the back of the book it says, "The first book with 1 foot on the coffee table and 1 foot in the classroom." And you know what? That is just about bang on to describe this book. It is definitely, I think it's kind of a 4-part kind of a book. On the one hand, it is indeed a coffee table book. There's all kinds of his own stunning photography in this book. Just beautiful stuff. And there's 1 page of picture and 1 page of text with kind of tidbits talking about this picture and just about general photography tips and insights and goodness that this guy has learned in over 30 years in this business. But at the same time as it is kind of a informational book and a coffee table book with lots of art, so it appeals to you on 2 fronts, it's also kind of like a lighting manual and even a bit of a confessional as he kind of gets into some more of the things from his own life that he has experienced in being a professional photographer for these various publications and what that's done to his family life. And so, like I say, it's kind of a confessional towards the end. But yeah, there's just all kinds of awesome tips in this book, as well as stunning photography and just really awesome photos. I think what I really like most about this book is the way that Joe writes the book. He writes it like as if you're in the room and he's just talking to you. And there's this kind of 3-pronged thing. He gives you kind of a 1 summary sentence of what he's going to talk about. He's got a picture that backs up what he's talking about, and then he kind of distills it all down for you and tells you a little bit more about what he did to get this particular photo. You know, like for instance, this one awesome picture of, we've got this one story behind Michelle Pfeiffer in the Smithsonian or some museum where she's at, and it's just totally stunning photo, and then some of the information about the shot, and then like he tells you, how to get this type of a shot from lighting her separately from the jewelry she's wearing. So he's an exceedingly talented photographer, an amazing technical light photographer. I don't know if there's anybody better than Joe at lighting stuff. If you've ever watched his stuff on Kelby Training or read any of his other books, he's an absolute master at it. So he does give you lots of good technical insights for the technical photographer, in addition to kind of giving you a bit of the story and this conversational style of how he explains these photos and what he's doing. So I really like that. He's an excellent writer. Just to give you an example of one of my favorite things about this entire book is, and his conversational style and his humor, is this one story that he has in here on taking a photo of some of the munchkins from The Wizard of Oz. And you can kind of see from this book here, he's got this picture of these munchkins, and he's got them in flower pots, and holding some lollipops and stuff. And so that's, the picture is hilarious in and of itself. But, what's even funnier is just kind of the way he tells the story of how he got this picture. So they're up in some 7th floor studio, and they had to haul up a bunch of dirt and these flower pots and everything to get this photo. But he tells you what happens. He says, "So the munchkins pull up in this limousine. I meet them, and we ride up to the 7th floor alone. We get in the elevator, and the door closes. I look around, and honestly, it's kind of creepy. I was trapped in a confined space with a bunch of munchkins. I got an active imagination. And I started thinking about them turning on me, and their little faces getting all mean-like, and their little lollipop guild voices saying, 'Okay, let's have the wallet, sumbitch.'" I just think that's hilarious. Maybe it's just me. I get his humor. But, he has all kinds of wit and everything built into the book. And it just makes for an overall awesome experience when you're reading some of this stuff. One thing that I found, really sad about the book, I mentioned earlier a little bit about the confessional side of this. He kind of talks about the role of being a father, being a husband, and all this with your family, and having to be gone a lot of the time. When you're working for like Life magazine or National Geographic, you're on location, you're around the world, you're in different places, you're away from home. And so he kind of talks about this struggle that he has as a photographer, in that he's out there in the world capturing the world's moments, but he's missing his own moments with his own family at home. And so one of the things, that's really quite difficult when you read this. He talks about having to get into the taxi and then leave his 3-year-old daughter at home. And, she says, I hugged her hard, told her the usual things that she didn't understand or care about what I was saying, and I knew that. The things we say in these moments to our kids make us feel better, not them. The cab pulled out and I twisted around and looked back, desperately waving. She couldn't see me. The light was too bright. She waved once and her left arm pressed against her forehead, shielding her eyes. The sun was glaring through the dirty window and she faded from view, hot and yellowish like an old Polaroid from the 50s. I slid down in the seat and began to weep. I wept for her, for me, but mostly because the siren call of my first big story with a yellow border around it was more powerful than the call to fatherhood. And that's a pretty heartfelt, touching statement, And like I said, you're missing your own kind of moments with your family to get capture the moments of the world. So you can really feel with him as an author and as a father, as a husband, in that, you're out there taking photos, but what are you giving up to do so? And Joe has got some incredible world-class photos, but the cost involved for him personally is something that, most people possibly, don't consider, especially if they're trying to get into photography as a full-time career, which he advises against in this book. I think it's tough on the old family life, to be sure. Alright, so is The Moment It Clicks a photography book? Yes, it is. Is it a photography 101 kind of a manual? No, it's not. Will it teach you a lot about lighting? Yes, it will. Will it teach you a lot about how to take really cool photos and advanced lighting techniques? Yeah, it will. Is it a book full of really great advice from a seasoned photographer? Yes, it is. Is it a really great book for your coffee table? Yes, it is. It's all of these things wrapped up into one with a really great style of writing from a guy who knows a ton about photography and light and about life. So, who's going to enjoy this book? Basically, anybody who likes photography is going to like this book. It's an awesome gift book to give somebody for a Christmas or a birthday present. Somebody who's got all kinds of books but is looking for something a little bit more educational and also with lots of cool, just lots of great advice about photography. And if you have somebody like that who would like this book, or you're that person, I recommend getting this book. Get it today. Order it. Buy it. I think this is going to be a book that you're going to go back to again and again and again and read through to get the insights from the various topics, because every single page and every single photo is a different idea, a different topic of photography. And like I say, you're going to come back to this again and again and again. Exceedingly inspiring photos and insights, and I cannot recommend this book enough. It is just an absolutely fantastic photography book.